I went down an interesting rabbit hole today about major disasters in the energy sector over the years. Now, I'm not talking about just oil and gas, but the energy sector as a whole. And I found it actually really interesting. There's a lot in there that I had never heard about. So, this is my top 10 list of cross energy disasters that include nuclear, hydro, mining, and hydrocarbons. Um, it's ranked by loss of life, environmental damage, systemic failure, and long term regulatory impact. So, some of the names I will likely butcher, so please forgive me, I'll do my best. At the top of the list, of course, is Chernobyl. In 1986, a nuclear reactor failed during a test that never should have been run the way it was. 30 people died immediately, but thousands more suffered long-term health impacts. There was entire regions abandoned, and what matters most about this accident is how it permanently reshaped the nuclear regulation, nuclear reactor design, and emergency planning, as well as public trust around nuclear. Next on my list is 2011's Fukushima. I mean, no one died directly from radiation, but thousands died from the evacuation itself. A tsunami knocked out backup power and cooling, and it exposed something uncomfortable, that even systems designed for extreme safety can fail when low probability, high consequence risks are underestimated. The deadliest energy disaster in history was not nuclear or oil. It was actually hydropower. So, mispronunciation is incoming here, but in 1975, the Banqiao and Shimantan dams in China failed after extreme rainfall. Between 170,000 and 230,000 people died. It was poor design margins and a lack of emergency release capacity that turned infrastructure meant to help people and provide power into a weapon. And that single event reshaped dam safety standards worldwide. Being part of the oil and gas sector, I can't leave off oil and gas related incidents, and offshore Piper Alpha in 1988 killed 167 people. It was not a blowout, it was safety process failure, poor permit to work systems, poor isolations, poor communication that created a tragedy that changed offshore regulation forever and introduced the safety case regime. Next, unfortunately, another oil and gas disaster is Deepwater Horizon in 2010 that killed 11 people and spilled nearly 5 million barrels of oil. It was a well-controlled failure and a barrier breakdown. That one event transformed deepwater drilling standards, real-time monitoring, BOP design, and regulatory oversight globally. In fact, it actually nearly bankrupted BP, one of the major operators on the planet. In Mexico, we have the San Juanico LPG disaster in 1984 that killed around 500 people when a gas pipeline ruptured and storage vessels exploded. It changed how LPG facilities are designed and how land use zoning is enforced, and how emergency response is planned. Next is Exxon Valdez, the spill in 1989. I remember this one growing up. It was pretty big news and was caused by fatigue and navigation error. 260,000 barrels were spilled, and that accident led directly to double hull tanker requirements and modern spill response frameworks. Coal mining, we have the Upper Big Branch explosion in 2010 that killed 29 miners. I don't actually remember seeing this one in the news for some reason. Methane and poor ventilation and systemic safety violations are the root cause, and it exposed regulatory failure, not just technical failure. In Canada, we have the Lac-Mégantic rail disaster that killed 47 people when a crude oil train ran away and derailed through a town. It rewrote the rules for hazardous energy transport by rail. And last but not least, in Italy, the Fajont Dam disaster in 1963 killed around 2,000 people. The dam itself did not fail, a landslide did. It showed that even structurally sound energy infrastructure can fail catastrophically when geology is misunderstood. When I look across all these sectors, the same failure modes appear again and again. You have low probability risks that are underestimated, design assumptions that do not match reality, a weak safety culture, normalization of deviance, poor emergency preparedness, and most importantly, broken communication between engineers, operators, and leadership. When I look at this, I think history matters. We are going to be consuming more energy as our civilization grows. And modern energy systems are larger, more complex, and more interconnected than ever. The energy transition does not eliminate risk. It redistributes it. And every major safety framework we rely on today exists because people died learning these lessons the hard way. Ultimately, I think energy is about systems. It's about people. It's about making good decisions and humility. The real danger is not the energy source. It's forgetting why the rules exist in the first place. Thanks for listening.